Welcome back to Unconditional Trews. My name is Jacob Delegal. I'm the host of the channel. If this is your first time watching it, I would suggest you subscribe, share it with your friends, and tell everybody that you know, okay? It's about getting the message out. Even if you don't agree, it's just about challenging the thinking that you are currently in, the realities that we live in, right? This page is inspired by Russell Brand's Trews. If you don't know what that is, go check him out. He's got way cooler stuff than I've got. But I'm doing the best I can to give you my point of view. Sorry, my hair looks like crazy right now. It looks like a lion's mane. Anyways, today, guys, we're going to talk about immigration. Something that's been a huge issue, apparently, this past week in Congress and in the Senate and with the President. Talking about immigration and the reform that we're going to do for it, okay? Well, here's the thing. I watched the speech just right before I made this video, and I waited a couple days to watch it because once I watch something, I'm going to be able to see the reality that I see. And I wanted to hear everyone's opinions of what they saw before I watched it. The reason why I wanted to do that is because no matter what, I don't trust what a politician says. But it's interesting to me to see the points that they will grasp onto and what they'll like or dislike about an argument of whatever he said. So when I watched it, he pretty much was an open-ended conversation. President Obama is a very eloquent speaker. He has a great way of being able to connect with people, making you feel like he's there. Russell Brand's been talking about, essentially politicians need to talk to us more like regular people. Well, I definitely think that's something that they're paying attention to, and they're practicing it. Russell's even pointed out the fact that they're using emotional terminology to connect with their, citizens and stuff like that, like passion and, I'm gonna fight for them, like all these words that have a lot of energy and like collectively are very powerful to use against like the average person, right? And so when I watch the speech, I'm seeing certain things like that. I will say that the speech felt like it was a good compromise for both parties because it was dealing with the issue, but yet then not granting citizenship. If you're wondering what I'm referring to, at one point President Obama is speaking for the voice of the immigrant, the undocumented immigrant, okay? And he is saying that if you've been here for the past 5 years, that you can come register, pass a criminal background, pay a fine, and pay your fair share of taxes, then we're not going to deport you. One word he didn't say right there was the word yet, and I think that's an important word that he left out for a reason. And the only reason why I say that is because the next thing he didn't say was, we're going to make you citizens, because he left that part out. Later on in the speech, he comes back, and this is when he's talking about these people are like, whoa, 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 what are you just going to let them all stay? He says, he came back to say in that was that they would not become citizens. And guys, that's an important thing. What it does is it registers them on a list. We are able to collect the money that we need to help our economy, right? To help us get out of the $17 trillion deficit that we're in. And we're going to use them to help pay that off because they can provide a lot of money. I mean, even like President Obama said that, these economical people like know the numbers, said, oh yeah, well that would definitely be a way to make some money and to take down your debt, as if you just charge these guys this fine to be here, right? Like a tax to be here. Which, guys, that is what breaks me down to some of the arguments of immigration, right? Is like we're saying that they don't pay taxes. Well, first off, that is false. I mean, that's obviously a false statement because immigrants do pay taxes. Every person pays a sales tax here. There are some people that get to opt out of sales taxes due through some corporate type thing that you can do with the government, because I've cashed credit cards and no tax on the credit card, and I don't know what that's for. But we're mad in saying that these people don't pay taxes, and that's what a big side of the argument that's used against immigrants. And when we talk about taxes, what do taxes go to? Did you know that 51% of the national GDP is spent on war defense? 51%. Okay, so we're upset that our country's not doing so hot. We're upset because there's countries who don't like us because they think we're doing real hot. But we got 51% of our national GDP going towards war and defense, guys. I mean, that's what I'm upset about, is people are saying that they don't pay taxes, they don't do this. Well, what do our taxes go for? Are they going completely to help further educate students to where they can have better jobs or skilled jobs, things like that? Are they going to our healthcare systems where everybody can have a great healthcare system? No. Okay, are they going to where they can feed everybody? Then if we could feed everybody in the States, oh, that'd be really good. No, they're not doing that. Are they going to home people? Are they doing that, you know? Oh, no, they're not doing that either. Our taxes are going to fucking fund wars, guys. So, to me, I think, you know, I thought we left, no offense to England or anything, but I thought we left this whole rule of no taxation without representation. And sure, we have representation that can be bought out by lobbyists. So to me, I think what happened, guys, in the idea of freedom is the forefathers came here. They had this sense of freedom, right? They were from an enlightened state of period, from the Europe enlightened stage. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up. You can look up information on the forefathers. It talks about that they were deitists and they didn't believe necessarily in the Christian God, but a natural God, which that means is a totally separate idea of freedom that we have here now in today's modern society. We think freedom is just being able to go to McDonald's, wear your own shirt, you can say this, you can do that. But everyday life, we are faced with infringements upon our own freedoms. Take, for example, homosexual marriages. They can't go get married, right? That's an infringement upon their freedom. Right? Well, the forefathers, right? Their idea of freedom. At that point in time, it was like a seed. It hadn't even really been germinated yet, right? So they came to America to germinate that seed, to let it sprout a little bit, right? Well, if we continue to develop the idea of freedom, it does not have to only be planted in the soils of the Americas. It can be planted all across the globe. Just by us acknowledging that the fact that there is a choice to be made to be free or not. And the only thing that separates you from that choice is fear. And if you relinquish the fear and have a society that is benefiting that idea of we will be there for you if you choose to make this a choice. You know, that's like groups like Anonymous. That's what they are doing, guys. They're saying that we will stand up and we will stand for what's right, not for what benefits us politically or financially. They're standing up for every human species on the planet, right? So immigration, back to the topic of immigration, guys. When we look at ourselves and we say as Americans, like, these people shouldn't be able to come into the country illegally. These are illegal aliens. Guys, how can a person be illegal on this planet? Seriously, how can a person be illegal on this planet? I mean, guys, like, you're fucking going by a story that they told you as a child. You know, when we were kids, they told us Santa Claus was real. Now, as an adult, they tell us that imaginary lines are real. Guys, you can choose to buy into that system, and then that system does exist. But if you refuse it, and you say, I don't think so, I think you guys have been, you know, smoking a little bit of the wacky grass, then I'm not going to do that. And if everyone does that as a whole, then what power do they have? We, the people, are the power of the government. I think that's another thing we've forgotten. The will of the people. Alright, and so an argument about the governments, right, is people come in and they say that, well, why don't they just go back and fix their own country, blah, 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 blah. Guys, at one point in time, Mexico owned half of the United States, and only through a position of power and economical financial success was a person able to sell that to another human being, right? And so this is where we get into an idea where we're talking about proprietorship over land, alright? Because we are the only planet, right, in our solar system. The only planet, right, that has life on it that we know of. We're the only planet that has human species, for sure, that we know of, right? And so when we look at just like, let's say the next 3 planets, nope, none there. Okay, we look into our solar system, nope, none there. We look into our galaxy, or our Milky Way, right? Milky Way galaxy, right? Nope, there's none there. We can look for billions and billions of light years away, and we haven't found another place where life exists as it does on Earth, right? Then why in the hell are we trying to stop one person from being able to explore that entire world? If this is all we have, and this is the only thing that we will ever see in this time, then what are we doing stopping people from trying to live a better life? As a species, you have a need to provide for yourself. And if in the geographical location that you live, you cannot get those necessities of life in an easy fashion, then would it not be an evolutionary trait to want to better yourself, to want to go to a place where these things can be accomplished? Absolutely. So who are we as Americans to say, you've had that great and wonderful idea, but you shouldn't come here because this is only for us and the people we want in? Guys, that's a ridiculous thought, man. And I think it's easier for you to say it in the position that you were born here and not in a country where it's not like it is here. Alright, so like I was saying, guys, if you're born here, I think it's easier for you to look at a situation and be like, no, we don't want you here. Go back. We don't care about your story. We don't care about all that. But guys, when we do that, we separate ourselves as a nation, right? And this goes back to what I said just the other day about that I was a planetarian and not an American. The reason why I'm able to look at things like that is because I don't separate myself by saying I'm a one nation man. There's several nations on this planet. There's several countries and continents, and together that whole thing makes up the earth that we live on. You know, I'm all down for the idea of, you know, people essentially being able to go wherever they please and however they please, as long as they aren't harming anyone or the planet. If we can do those things and accomplish those goals, then it shouldn't be a big deal. You know, when I was a kid, guys, and this is one way I look at immigration, right, is I heard a story be told to me that essentially if I was a mother in a impoverished nation like Mexico and I had the chance to take my kids to a country that was better, then I would do anything I could possibly do to get legal or illegal to get there, right? And so I think that if you can understand that story and put yourself in the position, sometimes we are only able to look at our lives and what we've focused off of, which only gives us one view. But if you can open your eyes and look outside the box and just think about what would you feel as a child whose family had been slaughtered by a Mexican cartel, and your only hopes is maybe to go to America where things like that are not of the norm. What would you do if you were that child? Would you stay? Would you try to stand up against people that aren't gonna, listen to you and they're probably gonna kill you? Or are you gonna go to a country where you could probably be safe?